I think that's jointing.
Really?
From the dike structure, and it's been coated by hydrothermal deposits. But the hole that we're looking at is in, I think, probably essentially all of that is hydrothermal deposit.
Watch lead, pilot.
Go ahead, pilot.
We were just peering into this overhang, or under the overhang here.
Right.
What are you thinking for the next move? Look around on this big nose here, or continue up slope?
I think we'd like to continue up slope. It's possible up the top of the rim of this crater we might see even more active hydrothermal activity.
And would you actually like me to get him closer to you?
I get the lasers off?
Lasers off?
No, that's good. There's a pretty large nose right here. I'll go up first. And then you can continue. Okay, whenever you're clear, video.
Video's clear.
Okay. Take a look at this nose.
Did we get an exact measurement for that new tether, what it is?
No, based on the daisy chain, it's maybe 6 or 8 feet longer. I think we cut all the raw tether to the same length, but then maybe didn't cut the jacket back as far on that one.
So that would make it what, roughly?
Oh, I think they're supposed to be 110 feet, I think. The question is the one on now 110 feet or the one yesterday 110? Because I thought they were
So
all
what
the
we're
same.
looking at right now is part of that igneous intrusive body.
But we have
a
some
few
useful
big
tools to
boulders up
check
on the
that
top
tonight.
of it. But most of the surface is covered with deposits from all the hydrothermal
Appears to be a
activity.
straight line
The
of
warm
pink
water is coming
stuff
out, interacting
above that
with
left rock.
seawater and depositing material
all
on
the
top
way
of
left
the
also.
surface of the
And
rocks.
also left, yes.
If you take a look in your quad screen view, what you'll see is some yellow
And also
blotches,
see
which
some of
are
the boulder on the
sonar
right.
reflections from
Pilot?
high topography in
Sometime
front
today,
of the
hopefully, that we
vehicle.
can get
So the
Fernando back in
ridge
seat.
is sort of
Sure.
broken up off to the right, and there is
Does look like it
something
would, video.
very high in front of us that is creating a shadow. The black area right in front of the vehicle is a shadow of something that is probably several meters high,
Top of the
right
screen,
in
I do
front of
see
the ROV.
white.
So we're probably going to go up
Also
that.
a large fish to the right.
And it's interesting that you can see a red and, well, reddish brown and yellow
Strange how high
streak
the
right
tether's
across
going
the
today.
seafloor in
Guess
front of
there's
us
just a
on
little
this real
current from
narrow
behind
ridge.
us.
I'm hauling
And that's
right
probably an
Maybe
area
that
where
warm
warm water
water.
had been coming out
See the warm
and
water
staining
here.
the rocks.
Were those
We've been
tube
seeing
worms, the
several
white stuff at top?
relatively small
Hydrothermal
chimney
worms?
Check it out.
structures along the surface of the seafloor in various places, all along this dive now, on this ridge.
Does look tubish.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, Bill Chadwick is remarking that it looks like we lost the shimmering water for now and less hydrothermal deposits on the seafloor compared to
All right,
earlier.
so yeah,
we are
let's
seeing
take
some
a look.
orange staining on these rocks. Yeah, we're zooming in on that right now.
15.5 degrees.
Yeah,
And some lighter yellow, too.
and the temperature did spike up to 15.8.
Tilt up.
Yeah, I think this little crack that we were talking about just a minute ago, I think this is a place where there has been some more recent
Just continue to
fluid
tilt up.
emanation. Do you think that the white or the light yellow material
Might be
is
bacterial. Yeah, it could
I
be.
don't see any wafting matte, but it looks fuzzier.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's active, but I don't see any shimmering in the water. I wonder if the videographers do. They have a higher def screen than the one we're looking at.
I don't actually see any shimmering in this area.
Okay. Thank you, Roland.
Temperatures are still.
Are those polykeet
I would
tubes?
think.
I wondered what those were.
There's a gray thing.
Where is the video?
Top lip of the screen, center.
Yes.
I still see some.
There you go.
shimmering.
Is that it?
Oh, you think
Saturday,
that's a
is it?
worm? The gray
no,
thing?
I think that's a.
What is
It's like
that?
gray
it's a
thing?
fish.
You think?
The
Yeah, it's a
scale
fish.
thing.
You think that's a fish?
I think you two are looking at two different
Boy, I
things.
sure can't tell.
It's a fish.
Tara Luke says it's a fish.
Yeah, Tara
She
thinks
agrees
it's a
with
fish.
I think we'd have to scare it to prove that it's a fish.
you. Yes.
Or our favorite expression,
closer to it.
just poke it.
Well,
Okay.
there is a
Just
little
kidding.
hydrothermal tube sticking off. Looks like a cone sticking off to the upper left.
I am seeing some minor shimmering in this area.
I do see a little shimmering in the water right around that yellow protruding cone in the upper left
Okay,
quadrant
whenever
of
you're
your
clear, video.
screen. So there is some active flow here.
It's a big tube on the left.
Let's go wide and proceed.
You're getting out there a little bit more. Let me know when you're.
Really
Want
narrow
this
part
next
of the
one?
ridge
Yeah, I was
here.
just gonna look here. I definitely have enough tether to look here, and then you can call it in.
Can you also look down and rotate both sides? It's so
Yeah.
narrow here. I have no idea what's holding it up.
I think if you were to move now, it would be good to do just like 10 meters, which wouldn't really
10
be
meter.
wouldn't really
Okay.
be worth it, you know,
Okay.
because I have enough tether. There's a nice loop.
Not many critters up here. I don't think
Upper
they like
left,
the
there's a
smell of the
Fairly
water.
well-defined tube with two white things coming off the top.
Do you want to do a zoom on the gray, see if there's anything there? Then I'll go around to the other side.
Do you want to zoom into the gray?
I don't think that this is
No.
as active as what we've been
No.
seeing up on
Okay.
the center of the
There's
ridge.
something blowing there.
Yeah.
That's nothing you
There
generated.
look like some
Nope.
tiny fish swimming around the
Looks like frost
right-hand side
material.
of the screen.
You're
Okay.
drifting back.
Yeah, you can go wide. I'll get closer and go to the other side.
But I would head us up on up the ridge,
All right.
follow it up.
Okay, Nav, you can call in that move.
Okay. Do we just want to move to right where you are right now?
Yeah, and that agrees with sonar as
We're looking at
hopefully up.
330.
Sure.
So our depth
Not
now
bad.
is 339 meters.
20 though or 10?
We're
20
about
now.
14
Okay.
I
meters
just didn't know if
off
they
the
wanted to linger
seafloor.
here. So.
But the ridge has quite a steep slope here. So that's part of the
Bridge,
reason
RV
we're so
nav.
far up.
Hey, can we get a move to 0 meters, 330 degrees, 0.2 knots?
It's too bad the water's too murky to get good images of D2 around here.
Good copy.
Pretty cool.
Get it with Sirius was a little closer.
I don't think it'll. Sirius is the normal distance.
Yeah, the pilots are mentioning that the waters are very murky, and you can see that easily
See
in the
tube
large
above,
screen.
center of lasers.
But normally what we can do is
I'll get
use
that
the
on my way up.
Sirius view to get a regional view of what the seafloor looks like. And that's hard to do today because there's so
Blue-tailed
much
fish below.
of this cloudy material in the water from all the hydrothermal activity.
Got a red
But I'm
one.
hoping as we go up the ridge,
Oh, the blue
maybe,
one's gone.
maybe we will find some
And
more
the red
chimney
one.
structures.
would
Yeah,
be nice, yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. Where are we in terms of our, we're right there, okay.
And this is the top of the ridge.
So we can move along that ridge.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
what Bill Chadwick actually Pilot and Nav, what Bill Chadwick had suggested we do when we get to the top of this ridge is move to the northeast if we have time toward the end of the dive.
Okay, I think that's where waypoint 9 is.
I believe so. I think that we have a final waypoint right up there.
Yeah.
Great, that's good.
Okay, video. Get a zoom here.
This is a little chimney finger with its arms sticking out to the left, right, the other left. Yep,
Got my
kind of looks like a
toe in.
little
Tilting
saguaro
up.
cactus.
To do what?
It would be, except that we already have two geologic samples.
Judging by what my skid does to this stuff too, it would just fall apart on the way up.
It probably is extremely friable. I'm not sure we could even recover it.
All right.
There is
Continuing on.
a
Oh,
urchin.
one of those long-spined urchins.
Yep.
Any interest
there's
in
an
that
urchin
urchin?
up there? Yeah, we can
Just
take
go
a
take
peek
a look at it.
quickly. You can see a lot more of those small fingers up further to the right as well.
I think we're very close to the top now.
So it looks like warm fluids have been seeping out of this
I think
ridge
there's still
structure
like
for a
20 meters
long
to go
time,
from high pack.
Yeah.
and probably quite slowly.
Oh, this
Okay,
is
video?
different. This is
Going on
not
the
like the
urchin.
long-spined urchin that we saw
Okay.
earlier.
Okay. Well, I think the last one we saw was pretty sick.
But I'm talking about those really long-spined
Oh,
ones, the ones that
okay.
have the
Super
Anal
spines.
ones that had the anal sac.
Oh, yeah, you mean the ones with the feathery spines.
Yes, yeah. Okay, thanks, pilot.
You're welcome. Whenever you're done, video.
And when we resumed in, you could see how much
think we only have 1
debris
meter
is
left.
covering
Okay.
the surface of the
Yeah,
rocks
we're
here.
just coming over top of you now, too.
Nice. Yeah, this isn't the top. There's more up there.
Now this
Yeah, okay, this is the
Sonar
top
showing
of this
some more. This ridge just
individual
keeps on.
piece
ongoing.
of the ridge.
All right, I'm coming up
Okay.
underneath you.
Roger.
Going over a narrow portion of this ridge. It varies tremendously in width along the track here.
See where the. Oops.
See all that?
See, now this looks
This looks
even
different.
more, yeah,
Yep.
even different than what we just saw.
We're getting really
Look out
close to the rim
That's
of the
what I'm doing.
crater on the top of the
Right.
seamount.
Ah,
got about
what is
10
that? Is
meters
that
to
a
go.
sea star? What is that in the distance
That thing in
there?
the distance.
All the way right.
Kind of looks like one, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it's
Oh, there is a
It's murky
fish
today, but I
right
can- yeah, I
in
can see
the
it here too,
upper
though, yeah.
right corner. Dark gray fish. Over to the right.
Rubbly slope over there.
Watch lead pilot. We'd like to get over to the right, please.
Yeah, I'm just getting an overview here. What would you like to see on the right?
There was a fish. Gray fish swimming around. There he is. On your right.
Oh,
Yep,
right in
I
the
see.
middle. Yeah.
Right in the middle in that crack in the rocks.
So this fish that we're looking at, this is Jeff Drazen, by the way. This
Hi,
fish
Jeff.
that we're looking at is a morid. They're the deep water cod. And
Okay, video.
this
Zoom
guy
from
is
here.
Lema Nima, and
And
you
then
can
I'll
see
try
he's
to
got
get
these
closer
really
without scaring
elongate
him.
pelvic
Coming up.
fin rays. And the Morids can use these and other fishes too for sort of probing in cracks and crevices and along the sediment for prey. And these guys, you almost always see them in sort of holes and crevices. And I would love to know whether they actually come out at night. But of course, we're always diving during the day.
Oh, I just saw him swim down and under.
Are these commercially important species?
Yeah, he went way below
Yeah.
HD2. Which they cannot
Morids
see.
can be very commercially important in some areas. There's a number in the North Atlantic that are harvested. This one is too uncommon and too small to really have any commercial importance. It's a bit deep as well. Well, I don't know. There's Morids that are harvested down to depths of maybe 1,200 meters or more.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, you can go in.
Okay, hopefully my memory serves me, but I have a Morid story that Lima Nima in Hawaii. We were doing a late night ROV dive with the Hurl little ROV, and we had a lot of amberjacks following along and whacking all the fish that came into the light field. And one of those Morids showed up, and the jacks shot straight at it and then stopped immediately and wouldn't touch it. So I don't know what was going on there, but it was a pretty cool observation.
How weird.
If you go wide, I'll get closer.
Tube world.
Do you want to look at
Watch
that
the
sea
pilot.
star?
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
definitely want to go and look at that sea star, please.
Okay.
That's a 5-armed sea star.
And it's called
I don't remember.
Penta.
Well,
Oh, that. Penta radio.
radio. Oh, that's what you meant. Oh.
This one looks like Gumby when you first look at it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Feeling good, co-pilot?
Pretty massive
Yeah,
rock
just
down
check the
below.
tether looking back there.
But there
Trying
is-
to
That's me and the rock in your
remember.
sonar, I guess.
There is a lot of columnar
14
jointing
meters
that
away.
that star is sitting
Must
on,
be.
though. So this is still part of, I think that's still part of the dike that I was talking about earlier. I think this whole ridge is a giant dike or dike system. Ooh, is there a coronaster over on the left? Or is that just staining? It looks
I
kind
don't
of
know. I don't
looks
know.
kind
It's
of bubbly like the
Yeah, I
coronaster
don't
does.
know. I don't know.
Looks like staining to me.
Allison Miller, any
Somebody-
idea about what this is?
Somebody has chewed off two
video?
of his arms.
This looks like that.
It's like he had some trouble in his past.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful close-up view. Looks like it's had a hard life.
To one of the tips.
Chewed off arms, trying to regrow them. Ouch. It's amazing that they can regrow. That's really wonderful.
Regenerative
Uh-huh.
capability, yep. Okay, great. Thanks, pilot.
Welcome.
Going for full screen. And
Boy,
get
you know,
lasers.
what happened to
Okay,
these
they
legs
have
really has me
lasers are on. I
stumped.
had them on approach.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, jeez.
Opening up.
That was really bad, Chris.
Is there a way to mute Chris?
Oh,
No,
I don't know.
unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, Roland has ways.
Oh, I have the power.
Roland has the power.
So I guess the white tips on these two arms that we're seeing are the
New- like
regenerated
new growth.
tissue.
Yeah, new growth.
And so the short
Ready to
one
move on?
on the
Yep.
lower right that has a white
Lasers
bump
should
on it
appear.
is just starting to
Sweep all
regrow.
over again.
Correct.
And Stumpy there hasn't got to it yet.
Hello. Are we still on the starfish?
Hi, Chris.
Okay, is that wide?
Hello.
Full white.
Hello.
So this one, hello?
Yes, go
We
ahead.
hear you. We hear you.
So the starfish you're looking at is an Ophidiasterid. It looks like either
Little fish wants to
Tamaria
be on camera
or Ophidiaster.
So 15 meters away, there's a pretty large something for me.
The number of rows of papilla that are present on the arms, and because there's sort of like a half row on the bottom, it's often difficult to tell whether one genera is the other.
Oh, I see. So 15 meters away, the big structure is probably at the very top.
It's really nice because it shows
It's in sonar and in
papillar
high
pores, but also shows the pedicelaria. These are these little kind of
something interesting.
sort of
Yeah,
on the
fish.
other starfish we're looking at.
These are
I know.
almost like buttresses coming out off the main
Claw-like
structure.
batteries. On this sea star, they're actually sort of more like lip or
Can we
valve
zoom on the
structures
fish?
On the surface. That's
We're
what a
getting
lot
there.
of the sort of irregularly placed sort of straight lines are. And those are presumably used to defend themselves against other sea star or other predators or small fouling organisms, things like that. You can see you can see a lot of the papilla, also the gills. This is a member of the Apiastridae. This is the family that, you may be familiar with Lynchia, that's on the shallow water habitat. They can regenerate their arms, but also they can regenerate sometimes an entire body from the disc if enough
It's a
of the
little
disc
bit
is present. So
evasive.
if you remember from invertebrate zoology, the comet.
Really nice,
when
pilot. Thank you.
The disc regrows the rest of the body, or the arm regrows the rest of the body.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Sorry. Can I interrupt? I want to interrupt you a minute so Bruce can tell us about this fish that we just saw.
Is he settling down?
The fish, maybe.
Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is a basslet. It's in the genus Odontantheus. Brian Green, who's not on the chat room, not with us today, could maybe come up with an identification. It could be Odontantheus unimaculatus, but I'm not familiar with these. These are fish that people see when they work in the mesophotic zone, where there's dim light down
not
around
the best
200
view.
meters or so, using rebreathers,
Nice coloring, though.
rebreathers for diving. There are a number of species, and
Okay,
I'm not
Clippa,
very good at
head
identifying
port
these.
before I get the cliff
in the
between
family
us.
Serranidae,
Okay, roger that.
basslets, in the genus Odontantheus.
Just kind of lateral to
And
port?
the males often
Okay, roger
have
that.
long extensions on the fins, like we're looking at now. They're like the groupers. They
And up.
change sex.
So,
sequential
yeah, what was on
hermaphrodites
your
with
sonar, I guess, was
females
actually what I'm
turning
looking at
females
now.
and becoming
It did
males
seem a little closer
later on.
than
There are a number of
where I
species,
was.
and most of them are extremely colorful, have beautiful color patterns.
It could be some structure.
Okay, and we are zooming up
yeah,
now.
I can see it in my
Yeah.
At the
there,
top
but yeah,
of
Oh, there
this
you go, yeah.
but you're right, yeah.
immense
This is unusual
structure.
today because normally we would see all of this in Series 2. And
Must
have a lot
Temperature
better.
is
Yeah,
16
visibility
point,
is poor.
yeah, 16.07 degrees C.
So it's more challenging for both of us. here.
And there is
We have our sonars. Looks
an
like
urchin at
Yeah,
the top of
couple
this
that
of
is
thing
the
on
last
the
thing, and then I have
right.
something big
Couple of
on
them.
15 meters ahead. Yeah.
I'm not convinced this is a hydrothermal structure, though. But when we get a little closer, we can
Nav
take
one
a
is
good look.
Range my sonar out for a moment just to see what else is there.
I was just remarking that it looks like there aren't any more hydrothermal deposits. This all looks like rock to me.
Is that 50
It
meters
certainly
down?
That's
does.
such a hard target. That's
Yeah.
all you're getting there.
Yeah. Okay. We can go
The
back
wall.
back in. So 15 meters ahead is another wall. Watch lead pilot.
Go ahead, pilot.
Any interest in these 3 urchins, or should I move on to the next?
That's a question.
Spire.
Yeah, let's
Just
move on.
move
We'll
on.
say.
All right.
All right, Shirley wants to move on.
So I'll get up and
I
over
wonder
this.
if we could
Looks
zoom
like
in on one of these
15 meters
urchins.
ahead.
Oh, we just
Okay, never mind.
Just
Okay,
had a
sorry,
question.
pilot.
What's that?
Just had a question to Zoom. Sorry.
One of the urchins.
Which
Looks
one?
like there are 2 different
Whichever
types here,
one you closest
folks.
to.
Which one would you like us to zoom on? The lower one or the upper one?
Brighter.
The brighter one on the top?
The lower
Okay.
one that keeps one down, and it's the white one that's a little further down.
Well, we have a.
Screen
You're
below
gonna
the video right now.
see a white one at the top of your screen in just a moment. At the top of this
That's a
rock, it
white
just
sponge.
looks identical to the
Yeah,
lower
it looks
white one.
different.
and what is the little
Yeah,
white?
no, there are a lot.
little white
Yeah,
thing
that
was
might be
there?
I don't know if that's a sponge or not. No, I think
No,
that might.
what did you see
that
before?
white? No,
I
it's a
forgot.
nudibranch.
Nudibranch,
Yeah,
right.
that's what that one by the lasers looks like, a nudibranch.
And
Snap
the
on?
urchin at
Yeah,
the
I'm
top
sitting down
there.
to get it, and then I'll tilt up for the urchin. 2 for 1. Okay, you can go in on that.
Oh, well, I am mistaken. That
Is a
actually is a
sponge.
sponge. That is a sponge.
For sure.
Yep.
Coming back
Yep,
left.
yep.
Max zoom.
Okay.
So, Shirley, I'm not sure whether this is a glass sponge or a demo sponge. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I think it's a demo sponge. Boy, but it's, you know what, Chris, I'm not sure. It looks, boy, looks more like a demo sponge, but I'm not sure.
It's our best views.
Okay, thanks, pilot.
It looks like it has a mucous membrane around the.
It's just
just
it's
very
not mucus,
thin-
it's just a very thin membrane.
Thin membrane.
Not-
Okay.
yeah.
Now we could potentially look at. The
Looks like
smaller
there are several of these urchins here.
urchins.
Let's get this
And the big one on the
reddish
top.
one.
Yeah, let's
Maybe
get
that
exactly.
white one on the
Well, we're
top
gonna
there
go. We're
would
gonna
be
look at.
one. The
Yeah.
red one we've imaged before, but that white one looked a little different.
Okay,
We'll-
so we
we'll
have
get
this.
to it.
Yep, this one is one that has the barnacles attached to the spines, the skinless spines, and you can see the legs of the barnacles sticking out. Sear eye. Thanks, pilot.
You're welcome. Whenever you're clear, video.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
let's take a look at that white one up at the
Co-pilot, do
top.
you mind taking my camera?
Roger that.
Every time I go to move my
It just
hand,
really
goes-
fascious me when we do
Okay,
zooms
so
and
I'll
we can
just
see all sorts of
hold
little
I
critters
know.
in the
Tilted up.
cracks.
Tilt up.
Yeah.
Roger.
Thank you.
So here we go. We're zooming on the white
Perfect.
barnacle.
Thank you.
Excuse me, barnacle.
Urchin.
Urchin. Oh, they're all over the rocks up here.
My perch just broke off.
Not too surprising, as this is the high point.
Let's get a zoom here video. Let's see if we want to set down again.
This one also has barnacles on it.
Mm-hmm. It does. And there are barnacles on the rock below it.
Actually, they look. Yes, they are. Yeah, they sure are.
And worm tubes.
Coming back up.
We have about an hour left in our dive.
And what we were hoping to do with this hour is, I guess we can go up a little bit further on the
Do you
ridge to
think
the
now would be a good time to
northwest and
swap
then move
if I sit right
along
behind
the
you?
summit of the ridge toward the
you want
northeast.
me to
Is
get to
what
the
Bill
top of the-
Chadwick would
that
like
next,
to do.
yeah.
Video's clear.
Okay. Go wide. Well, actually, do you happy with that urchin?
That urchin looked great. Thank you very
All right,
much,
so
pilot.
we'll continue. There's about a 15-meter jump onto the next wall.
Right.
that we can
Okay.
see in sonar.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, I gave you control of your camera again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to be off in midwater for just a little bit,
Temperature is 16.28.
and then we'll settle down again.
All right, so I think we'll need a ship move. I'm 15 meters. No, I'm
This ridge has been
10
incredibly
meters away. We could
irregular
do,
as we go along.
15-meter move, just to scope it out.
Got a different
Okay,
starfish.
do
in
we
addition.
want to change our heading slightly to
Yeah,
Port there?
if Don centers up on it there.
On our
Yep.
quad screen, we can see the ROV
Okay.
is on one contour line, and then the next contour line
335.
up to the left is
What do you
10
think?
meters above us. So we
Maybe a
have
little bit
about
more to
10
port.
more meters
More
to
to
go
the
till we
sonar
get to
there.
the top of the ridge. You can see in the side
Yep.
scan, in the sonar image,
Give it one more sweep here.
there is quite a hard reflector about 15 meters in
maybe
front of us.
315 or something?
How about
Yeah, you haven't-
320?
All right, yeah, you haven't moved. You're still. I think you're still where you
It's
started
still at
there.
335.
Yeah.
way in the distance, I think I see a little white patch on the cliff face in front of us.
There you go.
Yeah, looks like a starfish.
Yeah. Let's see this sweep.
Wow, rugged topography
Probably
here.
pretty good.
325 then.
As
Yeah,
we go over the
325.
tip of the rock that we were just
I'll center
looking at, you
myself
can
up
see a
here.
whole bunch of smaller urchins just everywhere on this surface.
How far did you want it again? 15? 10?
He's 20 away. Yeah, let's just do
that's
10 for now.
25
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
20. yeah.
Bridge, RV nav. Hey, we're going to put in a 10 meter, that's 10 meters, 325.2 knots. Good copy.
We just called for 10, right?
And it looks, as we
Yes.
approach
Perfect.
this ridge, that starfish is sitting on the side of a very precariously poised rock. Giant boulder just sitting up at the top of the ridge. Let's see if it's attached further upslope.
Yeah, we're like 7 meters away. Can put lasers on and go get it. I'm just kind of waiting for
Yeah,
tether
if we
now.
can maneuver
Lasers
so
are
that we
on.
can take a look
Oh,
at
they
that
are.
star,
Yep, yep, I see
star
them now,
close up,
thank you.
that'll be great.
Yeah, we're just waiting a minute for our tether. We're still
Right.
jumping across the blue water here.
I can give you a little bit there.
For folks at home, we have the ship on the ocean up above us, and we have Sirius, which is the vehicle that is closely connected to the remotely operated vehicle by about a 30-foot tether. And so the ship has to move, and that will help move Sirius closer to whatever target we're trying to go for. And then there's enough slack in the 30-foot cable from Sirius to the ROV so that the ROV can maneuver around on the seafloor. Massive lava body in front of us with columnar joints or cracks in the surface. There's a little fish swimming across next to the star. The laser beams, you see two little red dots on the rocks. Those are 10 centimeters apart. That's about 4 inches. So this is a relatively large white starfish.
Okay, video. It's all yours.
Little gastropod on the left of the.
Okay.
Tiny.
These are.
Do you remember what these are, Shirley?
No, all I can remember is like these goniaster starfish from before. Oh, look, there's a gastropod over on the left as well.
Oh, yeah, pretty one.
Okay, Chris, we're waiting for your call.
Chris Maw from
Chris
the
Moss from
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
He's the
Our resident
star expert.
Yeah.
The star of starfish.
Starman.
We are on location.
Excellent. Looks pretty
Copy.
good. After this, I'll
I wonder
get
what-
back in line. I won't go
Kind of
any
like a
farther
pin
further.
cushion. Okay, there you are, Chris. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pilots, just stay on this for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so this is Paranapanthea. It's a member of the family Asterinidae. It's one of the stranger ones because if you look at it, it's actually kind of flat. I mean, the inner radial areas are flush with the surface. This genus occurs widely in this sort of lower depth
I'm gonna
range.
put the lasers
from
off,
the
co-pilot.
Philippines, I think down to
Roger.
the South Pacific. I think I've seen them before with the Coral Reef Research Foundation with submersibles. Don't know a lot about them, but they're they're
Heading
sort of
back in video.
they're very striking, and they're surprisingly fragile when you actually collect them. That middle area is very thin and fairly delicate. But yeah, we don't know anything about them, and this is probably the best video of this species that we'll have seen recently. So,
Chris, we need you to spell it again.
sure. It's Paranepanthia, Paranepanthia. You saw one of these a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So it's kind of flat and fat at the same time.
I need you to spell it then, too.
No worries. But yeah, if you see it doing anything weird, let me know, because I'd sure like to see it.
All set, watch lead.
Roger that.
Thank you,
All right.
Chris.
Heading up.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, Chris, Chris, you might want to just send Chris Kelly an email with
Get that
the
fish
scientific
video?
name.
Spelling, yep.
Go in. Oh.
And a
There's
little
fi-
tiny
little
fish in
in there.
there. Oh, nice video of it. Nope, it doesn't want to be photographed. I love
Hiding
the way
from
these
the
hang.
lights.
They can sneak in the
All
crevices
right,
and
let's go wide.
hide away.
Just as I said it.
Oh,
Go back in.
okay. Nope.
Oh, never mind.
The minute we zoom in, it hides.
Okay, coming back to port. I'll line up and come up.
Roger.
So this, according to HiPAC, this should be the top, right, Neff?
Yes.
Can you pan up a little to see what's beyond?
So with a quick look, that looked like it could
Just
be
out of
another
curiosity.
basslet, except this was in
Believe
the
it
genus
goes
Flex
back
Amphius,
down.
which we've seen on other dives.
Okay,
Still
that's
heading
what-
up
It's a
slope.
large
That's what I was
genus, over
wondering.
50
Like so.
species.
Like some
Yeah.
potential corals or
colored.
sponges.
And again, Brian Green could come up with some ideas. I'd have to do some work to figure it out.
Upper left is a candelabra.
Okay, thanks, Bruce.
I see
So it
that
looks
one.
like there may be coral
Yeah,
on
I
this
know.
outcrop.
That's what I'm thinking. It's looking
Yeah,
like there's
this
some.
is, This is the very top. This is waypoint
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we've reached the rim around the summit of the seamount. And what we're planning to do is to head off slightly to the northeast and take a look along the
Giant
rim
grouper,
to see
right-hand side.
whether the
Biggest
communities
one
here are different. It certainly looks like that.
Right. So what I'd like to do is take a look.
Did you see a pilot?
No.
Go from right to left, if you like. Like take a look at these
Upper or
these
lower?
branching.
Upper right.
Lower,
Upper right.
lower right.
Upper right.
We saw a very giant grouper upper right of the ROV screen.
Okay, we're talking about two different things then.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yep.
talking about the fish.
Sorry, it was probably the biggest one we've seen yet.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it was just barely in the darkness.
They're likely to be large groupers around here. Just
322
hoping we'd be able to see.
feet.
Yeah, I hope we'd be able to see one once we get up to the top. That's where we've seen a lot of groupers on these dives. Now, surely, I'm not sure
Yes.
that is a coral. I'm wondering if that's some sort of
Yes.
weird star.
I'll go with potential weird
I don't know what it
sponge.
is.
I'm wondering if it's some kind of weird
Looks
sponge.
kind of spongy, yeah.
Well, we'll know in a minute.
We'll know soon enough.
Yeah, I would say it's growing flat.
You're about your right skid there.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a very odd-looking thing.
Yeah, I won't be able to get nice skids with the light bar. We'll go from here video.
I'm going sponge, Shirley.
Yeah.
I'm going to go odd.
I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know.
That is just about
Starfish.
the weirdest thing I've seen on this dive.
This is a starfish.
That was Patty's first guess, right? I don't know if it's a starfish.
I don't think it's a starfish.
I
No.
think that's a starfish.
No.
Where is Chris?
Looks like carpeting.
No. No, it's a sponge.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it
it's a
does look like
sponge.
sponge.
Okay.
Wow, how cool is that?
Gee, that's a weird-looking sponge.
Yes, it is.
I don't know how cool that is. We only have one biological sample, right?
Well, it's a demo sponge. My guess is in the order Poecilosclerida. But have no idea.
I was expecting you to say this is a never before ever seen.
It is a never before ever seen.
Definitely at this depth in this latitude longitude.
Definitely at this depth and latitude and longitude. There you go, Roland.
That's true.
No, but you can, yeah, you could definitely see the pores when you zoomed in
We
on
got
it.
lasers. Are they on or off?
Wow, that
Want 'em
was
on? Yes.
something.
There they are.
Yeah. Scott France said it's freaky looking, like a desiccating sea star. Yeah, I have to tell you, I've never seen anything like this
I was
before.
counting the
I've never seen
arms.
anything like
The
this.
trying to
light
figure
bar
out
gets
if it
close.
was
There's
a sea
more
star.
around the rock if we want to move on.
Oh, there's more? Yeah, let's look at another
I
Really?
think
one.
that one that you thought was a candelabra was maybe one.
So the
collection to the upper right. I don't know if it's the same thing. I
Upper.
thought the other ones were actually raised off the substrate.
Upper right or
right.
upper left? Because there looks like something on the upper left, too. Oh, I see. Yeah, there you go. Upper right. There you go.
I see this on the left.
think-
There's also upper right.
Yeah,
I think they're
okay.
the same.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think so, too.
weird
Yeah.
stuff
I'd
everywhere.
rather go left here.
Okay, whichever way.
Right. In the background,
In the
too,
background
there's
as
more
well,
of this
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah, the upper one, the top of the screen looks like a sponge in terms of just its overall shape.
Let's see, and Scott, I thought we were going to have some more octocorals.
Zoom to look at the right, left of lasers.
Alright, well, it's going up to this one now. Can go in video.
Oh, here we go, Shirley. This is the same stuff.
But it's sticking out this time.
Yeah. Yep. Wow.
The heck?
She's dumped.
The heck? I don't know. Myrmecoderma? I don't know. I have no idea.
Can you see pores yet? Are we close enough?
Yeah, well, I
with the
saw
video
them
to see it?
before when we were in close. It looked like there was some.
I don't see it on this particular
Yeah, not on
view.
this one, but I
You can
saw
get
it
in
on some of the
closer
other.
if you'd like.
Nice looking rocks, though.
There were some that were up, like the one that's up at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. That look, I don't know if that's creeping, branching or if it's
Okay.
upright. Take a look at that
Alright,
one.
let's just do a snap on this before we go
Okay.
up. Can go in video.
It's more of it.
Just wondering, yeah,
This is
there
more
we
of
go.
it, my dear.
It's not branching though.
Look at that.
No.
No, that's more of the
Yeah.
sponge.
Yeah.
So this thing just kind of oozes out onto the surface, huh?
Different shapes.
This is
Okay.
very weird.
I'll go up and get a little closer if you go wide video.
It's interesting because from a distance, they look like they are branching away from the substrate.
They
The
do.
wall is so craggy and dark, it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I wonder those ones on the upper right. I also thought they were growing off
yeah.
branching sponge.
Well, I'm hoping this one on the upper left is growing up off of the surface, but my guess is it probably isn't. But they sure, yeah,
But it isn't.
yeah.
That first one that we were seeing on the far left, which looked very much like a candelabra, it seemed like a pretty large specimen.
Here's a thought. Haven't seen any slit shell snails on this dive.
No, but I can guarantee you if we collect another biological sample, we will see
We will
one
see
right
one.
after
We
that.
always have.
I
And
can
that
pretty
for-
much guarantee you.
For folks
that'll
who
happen.
don't get the joke, that is a specimen that we have been seeing again and again. At about
Just
these
after we
depths.
collect our last sample.
Right, and we don't want to
Okay, video?
take more than 2 biological samples. But that is the same sponge.
Yeah.
It is.
Lots of
But it
tubes
does
at the
seem
top.
to, in this case, be extending off the seafloor.
Yep. See?
But
now
yeah,
you can see
I
the,
can
yeah,
see the
there you go.
pores. Look at those.
Yeah.
Look at those holes.
Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? You can see kind of like a, yep, you can see those oscules, and then the tiny, tiny ones are the incurrent pores or osteo.
Well, what about the little tentacled
the little tentacle things are probably zoanthids that are living.
Oh,
Well, no, wait. They
the
no, they're not
corals.
in it. Yeah, they might be stoloniferous octocorals.
Okay.
Yep.
Every time we zoom in close, there's more stuff to see that is
indeed.
living. I'm just blown away by the biomass on the surfaces of these rocks. I didn't know anything about hydroids when I came out here. Now they're everywhere. They grow on everything.
Thanks, pilot.
You're welcome. Whenever you're clear, video.
Rocks and other animals.
Yeah, I think this would be extremely difficult to collect.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it just would be.
Yeah.
It's encrusting on the surface. It's
Yep.
yeah, unless there
Very
were a loose
interesting,
rock.
though.
It's encrusting. It's small. It would fall in between the
Yeah, and you don't-
tines on the. Yeah, you
Yep.
wouldn't be able to get it. Yeah, that one over on the far left that looks like a candelabra.
That's
but
probably
again, I
growing
think that's
along the
probably
surface of the
yeah,
rock.
it's like
Yeah, a trick.
Yep.
yeah, it's a trick. It's an optical illusion.
Let's take a look.
A seductive sponge. It's saying, come hither and take me home. And yet, it will not go. But that's all we're seeing here. Nothing else that's large.
I know.
No large corals. But possibly a very large grouper. If we see them, we're going to zoom. That's a pretty fish. The pink one, on the left-hand
Beautiful.
side.
Do you like
Beautiful.
the fish before the sponge?
Yeah, because the sponge isn't going to go anywhere.
Fish is moving
Okay.
toward the sponge. Thank you,
Go for it,
fish.
video.
Oh, that's a beautiful fish.
I think that's the same one that hid from us before. Or
Oh, and
same
it's
coloring and
posing
everything.
for us. How accommodating. Gorgeous. Okay, people on shore, what is this fish?
I have to wait a few seconds for this
Right,
time lag.
right, I know.
Okay, this is a different species of Grammatinotus.
He
It
looks
has
suspicious.
an oblong tail, and you're right, it is posing.
Yeah, that's-
This is kind of similar to something we have in Hawaii, also similar to
I don't
something
know
that was
about
collected in the Philippines, and it's an undescribed
beautiful.
species. So it's another,
Yeah.
I think Scott said one common name is splendid perch, and this one's certainly splendid.
Very flamboyant.
Other names are Grappos and Grammys.
Okay, do you have what you need,
This
video?
is beautiful.
I do.
It's definitely
All right,
a
we'll
different
go up to the
species
sponge.
than the Macrophthalmus that we were
Gonna
seeing
go wide.
before. And I don't know if this is a described species. It may not be.
Wow. What fun. And then we can take a look at the sponge and
Yeah,
see
I
if it's
find it interesting that we haven't seen this at all anywhere. And now
yeah,
this is like the
just everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a dominant critter here.
Yeah.
Aside from the fish. The dominant sessile
Probably watch
critter.
for
All right.
fallen
Let's
rocks
take a
from
look at
above.
this one.
What's above
So
me?
it's about
Just
oh.
this stuff is so soft.
About
Pretty
15
big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Cause,
So
Yeah,
those two
15
red
to
dots
20
are
10
10
centimeters.
centimeters. I think it's 20 centimeters
Yeah,
wide.
I think it is.
But it, you come up to it, it looks like it has a stalk and it's growing up in the air.
Oh wait, no wait. This one might. This one
Yeah,
might.
this one might.
This one might actually.
Okay, want to get lasers off?
Roger. Laces off.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
it
it is.
Wow, look at the structure of this one.
Wow.
There are the pores in the upper
okay.
part of the screen.
Oh my gosh.
And
really
there is
nice.
a...
Just when you think you've seen it all, we can
Oh,
just a little
wow.
bit more.
Yep. It's just a gorgeous image.
Okay, well, what do we think we want to do? It's 3:40. We have 35 minutes left of this dive. We have collected 3 samples, 2 geological, 1 biological. You know where I'm going with this, of
I
course.
do know where you're going.
Okay.
Shirley, I think this is in a great position to collect, given that it's on the edge and that it's standing up. So if there's an opportunity to get the sponge, this seems like the time.
Okay, sounds good. Pilot, we're going to go ahead and collect.
All right. Where's the other biosample?
The
box?
other biosample
is in
port inner.
Port inner.
Okay. So how much of this would you like?
Whatever is easiest to grab. We don't need the whole thing.
Go wide video?
We don't need the whole thing.
Part at least.
I'll get a full specimen first. Please.
Okay.
Now it's sitting on what looks like
Yeah, rubble or
rubble, so the substrate may move. Yeah, so if that's pretty loose looking stuff.
Okay.
So as you
Pilot,
touch
you
it
want me to get your
to
hydraulics?
determine whether it's
Got
brittle or
hydraulics
not.
on
Is
and,
it brittle?
hold
Shirley,
on.
you think it's...
No idea.
No idea? Okay.
I don't think it's going to be brittle, but I don't know.
It looks spongy.
By spongy, do you mean resilient, that you
Yeah.
can squeeze it and it's going to come back to its regular shape? Yes, it could
so.
be. Could be crumbly, but I don't know. I think it. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be firm enough that you can grab it without it falling
so
apart.
you have to enable it up top there. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
So you
don't need the port valve pack, do we?
No.
No.
So you
Okay.
draw it in,
Okay.
hold both pins.
Okay, drawer close. Okay,
Then
and
retract
pin,
both.
Retract.
All right, co-pilot. So draw in. Both pins are out. So we're going to put it in port. So now extend port.
Extend the port pin.
Yeah.
Roger, coming. Okay, and extend the drawer. You ready for it?
No.
No, you want to wait till we get the
Yeah,
sample.
you're
Okay.
just ready.
Okay, roger that. All set.
I think I'm going to back up a little because I'm in so close.
Okay.
So it's interesting the way this sponge was growing, because except for when we first flew up to these areas, it looked like all of them were upright and branching, but when we got close to them, they were actually
on the seafloor,
on the surface, on the rocks. So what we call creeping branching, but in the same pattern that you would see if they were
like they were
upright.
standing up.
Yeah.
So this one actually is.
Yeah, this one actually is upright branching.
And it's a much
Really
larger
pretty.
specimen.
It's got these like a grooved surface. You can see on the close-ups we saw the in-current pores and then the larger ex-current pores or oscules, but it's kind of got a corrugated surface. Hopefully I'll be able to report back to you tomorrow what it was, if I can do a spicule prep on this tonight.
Shirley, don't the Cleona sponges or the crumb bread sponges also go like that? They start prostate and may put up these lobes.
Yeah. Now, okay. So you talked. There are 2 different ones. There are the Cleona sponges that bore, bioerode or bore into calcium carbonate, and then there's another one, the crumb of bread sponge. It's kind of like a halachondrid sponge, and I'm kind of thinking that this sponge is in that group.
Nav, you copy?
Go ahead, co-pilot.
But I don't think that this
Sean
is a
just said,
Cleonid sponge.
Do we know there's a sample in
So
the
how
port
will you tell
biobox?
the difference?
Yeah, we actually have one in the port.
There are
With the port inner and the port forward full, so we don't have the port outer.
Okay, roger that.
below.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
co-pilot,
Exactly.
Would you like to take my mini Zeus?
Roger.
So Shirley,
But
how do you determine the difference between groups
Just
of
different groups of
sponges
sponges.
I
in
think
different
it's
groups?
good where you have it.
Yeah.
I'll just have you rotate
Well,
it to
they
the
have,
sponge.
much like the octocorals that Scott was talking about earlier, these also have microscopic skeletal elements. Instead of being called sclerites, as they are in octocorals, they're called spicules in sponges, and they're made out of silica rather than calcium carbonate.
Right.
And the types of spicules that sponges produce and the way they
So those
are
awfully
arranged in the
close.
sponge are very diagnostic, usually down to
Yeah, you
species.
can tilt around now.
Okay, so when
Get
you
it
say
kinda
type, do you
squared
mean
up and
shape of the
centered.
spicules?
Shape, yes,
Oh,
they
that's
have,
good.
and so there are larger ones called megasclers and smaller ones called microsclers. Now there are some sponges, the demo sponges either have
if you
silicious
Go
spicules or
down
they have
straight
none
on
at
and
all.
Get it at the base, maybe.
So some of the
We don't
this
know
one
how
I'm quite
crumbly
sure is
this
going
one
to have
is. Maybe
spicules.
rubbery, maybe
Okay.
crumbly.
Watch, Lee, this is pilot.
Go ahead.
Yeah, pilot.
Now that I see kind of the scale of it and the jaw,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about snipping. Would you just like the whole cluster?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. But do you want to go in partial on both cameras?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. But do you want to go in partial on both cameras? That's good. A little out, actually, on Zeus.
For folks
so we
at
take-
home,
A
the
little
arm
farther
is,
out.
the
That's
fingers,
good.
the silver
Okay.
fingers you see are about
Perfect.
9 inches long. Go ahead, Shirley.
Yeah, and sometimes it's easy enough to just tell the
If you're up
species
to
just from
stone
the
is all
types
right.
of spicules.
Yeah.
Close
But
the
usually
jaws
you have
down
to
some.
figure out how
Yeah.
they're arranged.
I think
So you
I'll-
have to look at them under a microscope. You have to
do
take
this
what we do
better.
first is I take a little piece of the sponge and just dissolve it in a little bit of bleach, Clorox, and so all of the organic material digests when the bleach, and all that's left is the mineral. But usually then what we have to do is take a piece of the sponge itself and make a little thin section through it and see how those spicules are arranged in the skeleton. Wow, it is
Wow, it is
crumbly, huh?
Oh, not sure
It
this
is
is going to
crumbly.
work.
It is not spongy. I'll have to reassess this plan.
Okay,
What do you think?
it's crumbly.
Okay, watch, Lee. So it is actually brittle.
It's crumbly.
It is brittle.
It's
That was
crumbly.
on a grit force 3 out of 10, and it just shattered.
Yeah.
So I can try to get a little piece at the lowest grit force.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. I can make an identification from a small piece.
Just wonder if it's going to be too small and just slip through the fingers.
Yeah, well,
of
that's always
an
a possibility. Yeah, that's always the possibility if it's that brittle.
Just try to scoop up 2 or 3.
Yeah, if you get them all in the jaw at once, they sometimes jam themselves.
Glad I have Dawn next to me, the taker of many samples.
Yes, Don has collected many sponge samples using the.
Been
Oh
in
wow,
this
that is
same
really
situation
brittle.
Very many times.
Really, really brittle. Okay, so the other thing you have to
Chunk
keep
on
in
the
mind
edge
about
looks like it
sponges
has
too
an
is that
actual
they are
chunk.
highly regenerative as well.
Actual chunk.
And we're
Flash,
probably
did I do it?
propagating the sponge asexually. Every place that one of these little pieces lands, it will attach and grow out some more.
So you think if the pilot's able to nab that chunk of rock that it's sitting on, that it would
Maybe.
adhere to it?
There you go. There you go. There you go.
You got it.
Job.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
it.
Wow.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wow, I'm
Okay.
There you go.
impressed.
All
And
right,
we have some
wanna
good
tilt up
close-up
my
of
mini
it, so
sheet
just
on?
go ahead right into the bin. No, we have a lot of good close-up on it. I'd
Okay,
rather just
so no
get it into the
close-ups.
bin.
All right, I'm just going to get it out of the way. Could you go wide on both cameras, video?
All cameras are wide.
Yep.
Okay.
So we won't open the drawer here, Don.
Now
We
you're
will-
going to have to back
You're going to
out
back
a little.
off?
Exactly. So I'll keep
Yeah,
it right
so you
here.
can back
It's
off
pretty
and
safe.
then open the drawers.
Okay. As long as the prop wash doesn't,
May want to hold it over the rock box just in case.
just in case. Not a
It makes
bad
me
idea.
wonder
You want me
now,
to swing
seeing
that
this, how brittle it is. If
wing in there?
I
some
think
of
it'll be
those, you know, what's happened is they've kind of like broken off in the current and,
I like that idea, but I'm
creeping
already,
down on the, you know,
Yeah,
that they were
already set
all
for that,
upright
yeah.
and branching,
Yeah.
but kind
Okay.
of fell over.
So
or
I'll just
broke
come
off.
up and try to